If you are inside the Tekken bubble in any capacity, you very likely heard of the big outrage that we got after the last Tekken talk considering Season 2 that will come in about a week at the time of recording this video. And rightfully so, but I have a theory that I will explain you in this video, but I could be completely wrong and this video could be complete nonsense. So yeah, my name is Ray. Welcome to my place. So in the latest Tekken talk with Michael Murray, Harada and Nakatsu, we got a glimpse of what we can expect in Season 2 of Tekken 8. And to say the least, the community, the players, the pro players, the streamers, the content creators, everyone is kinda upset. A week or two before this Tekken talk, they said they realized that many players are not satisfied with the current state of the game. Everyone wishes for more defensive options, chip damage is too much, there's too much tracking, heat is too obnoxious, all sorts of problems, and character balance of course. So they specifically said they acknowledge it. So what we expected is that they would consider this when going into Season 2. But what they showed us in the last Tekken talk is pretty much the exact opposite. And they definitely showed some improvements like some Jin nerfs, a nerf to King's muscle armor, and some buffs for Azucena, which is considered weak. So a couple of things in the right direction. But they completely neglected it because after showing the nerfs, they showed buffs to Jin and to King, two characters considered top tier. And on top of that, we also will now get chip damage if you successfully break a throw. Like, make it make sense. And I personally have the theory, and that is like a big portion of copium on my end, and that I want to give to you. Maybe Bandai Namco is pulling the biggest April Fool's joke in gaming history. I know, hear me out. I know this sounds really crazy and it seems like it sounds like a lot of work doing that much with the presentation just to like shock the player base and make everyone angry out of nothing just for April's Fool joke. But everything considered, it has to be a joke, right? Like imagine, like they took every complaint, like most of the complaints that player base, the pro players, the content creators, everyone has, and they basically like did the exact opposite what everyone wants. In Germany we would say, ich mach genau so und noch schlimmer. Like considering everything that they showed us, it's like we noticed what you were saying, we noticed what you were asking of us for the game, but we don't really care. We just do the complete opposite. You, instead of like less 50-50 mix-ups, you get more. We might nerf the chip damage a little bit, but Anna has a mechanic that lets you apply chip damage even without heat. And yeah, you also get chip damage when you successfully break a throw. And yeah, we heard you want Yoshi nerfs, you want Jin nerfs, you want King nerfs. You get a couple of them, but they also get new 50-50 mix-up options and maybe one or two things that are considered a buff. And don't get me started on Devil Jin. Devil Jin is considered by many weak, like by the vast majority of players. Devil Jin is considered weak, but what they gave him is like a little bit too much. And shout out to Q-Dance. Devil Jin is probably tournament viable again, so he can pick Devil Jin again in tournaments. And considering all that, like, take the biggest portion of copium that you can, that this might be one big April Fool's joke. And Harada, like, also always said in the whole discussions on Twitter, every time he replied to, he always said, just wait for the final patch and for the patch notes. which led me to believe that those outrageous things that they showed us might not actually be in the final patch notes, and this could all be one big joke. Maybe after April the 1st, this video will be complete obsolete and I'm completely wrong, but I just had this theory and I just wanted to put it out there, because if I'm right, you can quote me on this and I hope this video goes viral. But on the other note, if there are a lot more changes like those that were shown in the TED Talk, I think there are a few options, or like one big option that every streamer, every content creator, every pro player has, which could lead the game in the right direction. If the game really gets even more stressful in Season 2 and no one has fun playing the game anymore, because it's like evolving so much from what the player base asks for, the only solution that I could think of, like people with names in the community, people who actually have something to say, people who have a voice in the community, not like me, because maybe this video won't get any views, but if it gets out there, what pro players and everyone can do is to, maybe after 4 weeks, when this patch finally rolls out, and it is as let's say, I wouldn't say bad, but let's call it is as bad as people like thought it would be. There is, I wouldn't say boycott Tekken 8, but maybe stop streaming the game. Like, to all the big content creators, stop streaming Tekken 8, and the pro players stop, like, and also the pro players stop maybe, like, I know it sounds dumb, but stop going to Tekken 8 tournaments, just to like make a clear point to show Bandai Namco that no one is happy with the changes like the game gets. Maybe start with Street Fighter. Stream Street Fighter instead. Get good in Street Fighter, like most of you are, most of you pro players are, don't get me wrong, right? But imagine the feeling that Bandai Namco would have if every person, every player with a name like in this game, in Tekken 8, would switch to like its biggest competitor, Street Fighter 6. Imagine how much pressure they would get, like to actually listen to the player base, actually listen to what the players want. And I know the game is not catered to the pro players or to the like really high end level of players, and mostly catered to the like the casual player base, because there are much more of them. But I think Bandai Namco is, at this point, they have to listen to the advanced players, like to find a middle ground, like to balance it out. And I know this solution sounds pretty simple, because I know no one, like, or mostly none of the big creators or pro players will switch to a different fighting game because their careers lie in Tekken 8. Because like they literally earn a living from that game. But I think this would be like a really radical step to like motivate some changes. But I'm pretty sure that like most content creators and pro players will not drop the game for Street Fighter 6, for example. Not even to like make pressure for Bandai Namco to like actually listen to them. But yeah, that's the video. I hope it's not too long, and like I said, it is just a theory. Maybe this is all just a big April Fool's joke. So yeah, that's your daily potion of copium, and let's see how Season 2 plays out. Like Harada said, like wait for the final patch notes. But just judging from what we've seen, if that is going to be the general direction for all characters, like Tekken 8, even though I have fun playing the game and I'm sort of addicted, the game is very stressful. And that's what many players say. So yeah, let's see. In about 1 week, Season 2 will roll out. And when we have the final patch notes, I will definitely be up to date and we'll see what all the big content creators have to say about it. But for now, yeah, enjoy your last week of Season 1 of Tekken 8. We'll look back at it and we will say it wasn't as bad as we thought it was.